in the tech world that we're going to discuss. Sad day for some. Could be a good day for others, depending on how you look at it. We will get going here. Let me see. Let me send out. Give me just a second. Let me send out the link across social media so we can get some people in here and have the discussion with us. Here at eSIMstudios, we are the most interactive technology channel on any platform, really. We don't just post videos and tell you what to think. No, we like to have the discussion with you, the user. I'm no different from you, right? I love technology. I love phones, and I want to discuss it. I want to be an interactive channel. So please join us. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Make sure you turn the notifications on so when we do go live, you'll be notified and you can join with us. We do giveaways all the time. In fact, yesterday I think we did 3 in one day. So we're going to do another one here pretty soon. But let me send this out real quick. Let me refresh. We are live on TikTok. We are live on YouTube. My Instagram account got deleted. They said, what was it due to? Copyright infringement. Really? I had been using my Instagram account like I've always had. Nothing changed for the last few years. And then out of the blue, boom. It said deleted, or what did it say? Flagged for copyright infringement. I'm like, copyright infringement? What the hell? Whatever. It's interesting that they deleted my Instagram account literally on the same day that I jumped on TikTok. So I'm just going to transition to TikTok now. I'm still probably going to have to make a new Instagram account. I got a couple burner accounts. You always got to keep some burner accounts in your back pocket just for this reason. I'm going to probably turn one of my burner accounts into the new eSIMstudios Instagram account, but man, and you know what I paid for the verified profile, $15 a month for that stupid little blue check mark on Instagram. Boom, deleted. Really? So anyways, I am going to, whatever. It's not like I was making money from it anyways. It's just actually, I used it more for communication, like talking to people behind the scenes, their little messenger. I used to use it mainly for that. But it is what it is. Life goes on, right? So let's see here. I'm live, correct? I know I'm live on TikTok. Let me make sure I'm live on YouTube. Let me go to my channel. We'll get started. Just give me 1 second here. We're going to get started. Let me just send this out. Let's see. How is everybody doing today? Y'all good? Let me share this with Twitter. I don't ever get on Twitter anymore. Let's see here. Just YouTube and I guess now TikTok. Okay. Sending out the notification. Should get some more people in here. So we got OnePlus news that we're going to jump into. We got some Samsung stuff to get into, and then I am going to scan. There is the remaining amount of news. It looks like the Android August security patches are out. I take that back. Google Play services for the month of August are out. And then we're also going to get into the new beta that was released for Pixel devices. Apparently, Android 17 QPR2 Beta 2 for Pixel devices are out. And we will look and dive into that and see if there's anything new on that front. I'm going to put out a short. I've been having an issue with my. I guess we'll go ahead and get started. I have a short that I recorded earlier today that I'm going to upload once this is done. Has anybody out there, anybody that has an S27? Jesus Christ. Nobody has an S27. Is there anybody out there that has a S26 Ultra that is on the July security patch? Has anybody noticed any glitches, any bugs, anything weird with this July update? I say that because I came across something really weird probably a couple hours ago, and that's not the only device in the house that has been having issues. The other couple devices in the house that have been having issues are Pixel devices, but we've been having glitches, we've been having freezes, just weird operating system blunders, bugs. But I ran into one of the bigger speed bumps that I ran into earlier today in regards to this month's weird bugs is that on the S26 Ultra, I updated all my applications. It was a little sluggish. It was a little choppy. I'm not going to lie. It's the first time since I've had this device. This S26 Ultra has been rock solid. Just a really good device, a good daily driver. But I started noticing glitches earlier this month, and today it started to get a little glitchy. So I restarted it. and then what do you know? When I restarted the device, you know, when you restart it, you'll get that boot animation, and then it says phone restarting or something like that. Well, it got stuck in a boot loop and essentially stuck there for a couple of minutes. It wouldn't do anything. And then I long pressed the power button. And because, you know, if you did not know, on any Android device, all Android, doesn't matter what manufacturer you have, doesn't matter what model you have, there's a little default setting in the power button. You can press and hold the power button no matter where you're at inside that operating system. Press and hold the power button. Some you have to hold it for 15 seconds. Some you have to hold it for 20 seconds. Some you have to hold it for 30 seconds. Some even 45 seconds. But the point is, I believe Samsung is about 20 seconds. You long press the power button, meaning you press and hold it, and it'll force reboot the device. So, meaning it'll restart it. Well, I pushed down on my device, on my power button a little earlier when it was stuck in that boot loop. Nothing. I was pressing and hold it for like 2 minutes. Nothing happened. So I could swipe down on my notifications. The notification would come down while it was stuck in. It's really weird. While it was stuck, thank God, in the boot loop, and pull down notifications, pull down again, and then hit the restart button. It restarted the phone, and then operating as usual. So I was like, damn, that is really weird. Now, I think it's the July security patch update. Just weird bugs in this. So hopefully Google pushes the August update out pretty freaking quick. I cannot wait to update this to the August security patch because mine's having some glitches. Oh, and please let me know if you've noticed anything weird and you're on the July security patch. Let me know in the comments because I know it's not just me. Because like I said, our other devices in the house are having similar issues. And they've never had anything before this July updates. Just like this phone. Been rock solid for like, I don't know, 6 months. And then out of the blue. Weird. We also have a S27 information in regards to the cameras. Now, I put out a community post yesterday. Did all of y'all see that? Did all of y'all see the reported new look of the S27 Ultra? Weird. Now, the report that came out, so if you didn't know, Samsung's refreshing the look, the feel of the Galaxy S series. They've been stuck on a similar design since like the S20. Totally redo everything. And I'd been saying this for at least a year or two, that it's the S27 where they're going to revamp everything. Well, rolling into this year, we got leaks early. Even before this came out, we got leaks of the new design. Now, what they're essentially going to do is, you see these cameras that are vertical. What they're essentially going to do is swing it up here and have the cameras go across the top of the device. That's what we thought and have been thinking it was going to look like for the last, I don't know, 6 months, right? 8 months, something like that. And then yesterday, got weird news that just came out of nowhere. What did I tell y'all? Yeah, yesterday, remember during the live stream, I said these companies leak their own stuff because they don't want you to buy a competitor's device, a competing phone. Because Google's been leaking the hell out of their new upcoming Pixel, all while Samsung rolled out the red carpet for their foldables this year. You wonder why Google's, putting leaks out? Because they don't want you to buy a foldable if you're on the fence. They want you to say, yeah, I'm going to wait for the Pixel. That looks pretty cool. Well, Samsung counter-leaked, and apparently, look, I don't know if this is a real thing, but the new S27 Ultra looks like an iPhone. I'm sorry. It just does. It looks like this. Now, the S27 Ultra has 4 cameras instead of 3 cameras here. But the S27 Ultra has a island that goes across the top just like this, and it has 4 cameras instead of the 3 that you see here. And I was like, wait a second, don't, come on, don't tell me, because it seems like Samsung copies everything Apple does. It's really annoying at this point. It's really pathetic and embarrassing at this point, like everything. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, you know what? On first thought, I was like, nah, they're not going to do that, are they? And then I was like, could be true. I was like, I was thinking to myself, they do copy everything Apple does. So yeah, I could see them take on a similar design. Man, I'm still going to buy it. So I'm like, whoa, great. But it looks pretty similar. Now, that leak came from a rock-solid source. It didn't just come from Joe Blow in Indonesia. No, this came from an industry insider that said, not so fast on the design we all think that it's going to be. They said, Samsung has changed their mind and is going with this one. I'm like, huh? What? Oh my God. Shit is annoying. So if they do end up with that design, you can join me and roast Samsung for copying Apple once again, because you can believe I will roast them. I'm still gonna buy it. I'm a sucker for smartphones. What can I say? But man, that news came out of nowhere. I even had to double check the source. I was like, who's putting this out? And I was like, oh man. Damn it. Let me see if I can show you, for those of y'all that haven't seen. Give me a second. Give me just a second. Let me pull up my screen share. Let's go with, and let me type in S27 Ultra. Yo, I'm on the wrong computer. God dang it. Alright, S27 Ultra design. Wait till you see this. What the freak is going on? What is this all about? Can y'all believe that? So the one on the right is not necessarily, I guess I need to find a better example. The one I'm talking about, the iPhone copy, is the one on the left, the silver one with the little island across the top. That's the one apparently they're going to go with. Now, we originally thought it was going to look similar to the one on the right, the purple one, even though that design is not really the one I was looking for, but you get the point. The sensors were supposed to be across the top, Pixel-like. Even though it's not going to have a camera island around those sensors like a Pixel, they were still going to independently place those sensors across the top. But apparently now, look, take everything with a grain of salt. Like, I tried to find out yesterday before I put that community post out to see if they've already started production, meaning started physically making these phones. I don't think they have. I think they're going to start making the actual physical devices right around November, early November, late October. So I guess technically, look, I'm sure Samsung has their mind made up right now, this very second. But, man, I don't know. It's copycat stuff to me, but it looks like a Realme. Yeah, it does. You know, I was trying to find an Android comparison yesterday, and I was like, I know it looks like, I just didn't like go through the models, but in my head I was like, I know it looks like probably like a Chinese phone, but I couldn't figure it out outside of looking like an iPhone. Yeah, but you're right, it does take on a Realme look, doesn't it? The GT3 Pro. Yeah, it does. I know exactly which one you're talking about. That wouldn't be a problem if it looks like an iPhone. I mean, you're probably right. You're probably right. Now, that's why I love Pixel phones, the way they look. I think y'all have heard me say this before. Pixel is the best looking smartphone to me ever. Like, I just love the way they look. Just an absolute classic looking smartphone. And everybody's different, right? But it's unique, it's different, it's beautiful, it's elegant, all the above, right? Now, and look, I'm going to cut Samsung a little slack, but not a lot, just a little bit, because there's only so much you can do as far as designing a smartphone, right? Because think about it. iPhone traditionally has had the triangular sensors, right? Where you got 3 sensors in a triangle, right? Now, you got Pixel, which everybody knows what that looks like. And then you have Samsung, which has had the vertical sensors, what do you call them? A teardrop or something like that. So there's really not, I mean, look, I'm sure you could get creative, and that's what Nothing does with their phones, but it looks like on the Nothing phone, somebody just was blindfolded and said, we'll put a camera here, we'll put a camera here, we'll put a camera here. That just looks flat out ugly. But, I mean, I guess there is different styles, but I don't know, there's much more you can do. So, I mean, it's not like I just don't want it to be blatantly copying iPhone. And that's the first thing I thought when I saw this. I was like, that looks like a freaking iPhone. So, yeah, we're going to get into OnePlus here in just a second. I just wanted to go over this news real quick. In fact, I'll pull up y'all's comments what's going on when we do that. Now, getting away from the Samsung, before we do that, I want to let you know what they got going on in terms of cameras. And let me see if I can find a better representation of what it was going to look like. Let's see. Here we go. This is it right here. So it was going to look like this right here on the left. That's what it was going to look, what we thought it was going to look like. And on the right is what it is reported it will look like. Now, which one of those do you prefer? Now, here's a new report that might go one way or the other, depending on what you believe or what's true in these new reports. So there's a new report on 9to5 Google that the Galaxy S27 Ultra is ditching a telephoto camera for the sake of cost cutting, just to save a little money. Now, remember, this is going to be close to spec'd out, or probably the most top of the line specs that Samsung has put in a device in years. Because Yeah, it could have a bigger battery, but you are getting a 5700 milliamp per hour silicon carbon battery. So they're going to upgrade the battery to the newest tech. You're going to get the latest and greatest CPU from Snapdragon, a Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 6 Pro. Mouthful here. You're also getting brand new UFS storage 5.0. All the new Snapdragon, flagship Snapdragon CPUs this upcoming generation are going to have the latest and greatest UFS storage. So, because remember, this year they didn't put the latest and greatest in there. Now, I think I said the only thing we don't know what the latest and greatest specs out there or hardware is going to be is the display. We don't know if they're going to put that M16 OLED panel in there. Maybe, maybe not. If they're that worried about cutting costs, which they probably are, there you see them removing a camera. So instead of having 4 sensors, it's going to have 3 sensors. So now that I think about it, that phone on the right there wouldn't make sense, because if they're going to remove a sensor, it should only have 3 sensors, right? Because let me pull up this report. So before we say, oh my God, that's it, it's going to be this, hold your horses, because honestly, we don't know. And I'm trying to figure out if that leak makes sense or not, because let me pull up this report from 9 to 5 Google. Check this out. 7 hours ago, S27 Ultra ditches a telephoto camera for cost-cutting measures. So the first few generations offered a 3x and 10x lenses, with newer models dropping that to a 3x and 5x. Now, I think they're dropping the 3x 10 megapixel sensor. Yeah, so it says apparently Samsung will ship the S27 Ultra with just 3 sensors, a first for the series, with a 10 megapixel 3x zoom lens being the one to go. Okay, so you're going to get a 50 megapixel 5x telephoto shooter. That's going to stay there. And the S27 Pro would have a 12 megapixel 3x telephoto camera in addition to the main and the ultra wide lenses. So here are the sensors that you're going to get on these devices. On the base model, you're getting a 50 megapixel, 12 megapixel wide, 10 megapixel telephoto. On the S27 Plus, you're getting a 50 megapixel main, 12 megapixel ultra wide, 10 megapixel telephoto. Looks like it's the same on the base and the Plus. And then when you get to the Pro and the Ultra, that's when you get the flagship specs, top of the line specs. The Pro's getting a 200 megapixel main. Now remember, that 200 megapixel sensor that we have all become used to on these phones, they're doing away with that 200 megapixel sensor and introducing an all new 200 megapixel sensor. So it's not going to be the same 200 megapixel sensor you've had on all these Samsungs for the last 5 years. All brand new. So you're getting on the Pro, this is the 6.3 inch model, 6.4, a brand new 200 megapixel main sensor. And this 50 megapixel ultra wide. The next sensor I think is 18 months old or just over a year old. And then you're getting a 2-year-old, which is still relatively new. It's a lot newer than what they have on here. And then you're getting a 10 megapixel telephoto 3x on the Pro. And to round out the Ultra, you're getting a 200 megapixel main shooter, 50 megapixel ultra wide, 50 megapixel telephoto 5x. So it takes me back to my main point. If they're only putting 3 sensors on this phone, well then this one on the right here wouldn't make sense, because it has 4 sensors. See what I'm saying? So I don't really know what they're doing. I mean, I know what they're doing, but I don't really know that's going to be the S27 Ultra. I still think, now they could replace, now if you really want to copy iPhone, take those three sensors, the 200 and the 50 and the 50, and place them on the back of your phone like that. What if Samsung placed their sensors just like on this iPhone? That would be hilarious. It would be so Samsung. Just blatantly copy Apple, right? At this point, you might as well. You do it with everything else. But what would they put there? Would it just be missing and it would be 1 and then 1 off to the right? Or 1 and then 1 off to the bottom right? See what I'm saying? One of those sensors would have to go out of those 4. That's why I'm still thinking there's a chance it could be the design on the left. That's what I'm thinking. Right? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But stay tuned. I can promise you, if y'all are not subscribed, you're definitely going to want to subscribe. I'm going to be covering this extensively. Again, I'm going to get one no matter what it looks like. Well, I'll take that back. If it looks like a Nothing Phone 3, I might skip it. But I don't think any phone could be that ugly. But we'll cover this. We'll definitely cover this. Let's see here. Any other Samsung news? Samsung. Google teased the Pixel 11 Pro Fold. Is anybody interested in that? Anybody? You're interested? No? Okay. We will pass. Let's see. Lenovo's first full-size Google Book leaks. Do you want to take a look at the hardware? Are y'all that interested in the Google Book? Is this going to be a thing? Is this going to be a flop like the original Pixel book that Google put out? I mean, it wasn't a flop, but it sounds cool. I think I'm going to get one, but I'm not sure. We'll have to see how this goes. If they nail it on the software side, remember, this is all new software, all new user interface, brand new. If it's hard to operate, if it doesn't connect well with your phones, if it's, I don't know where this is going. I don't know where these Pixel books are going. Right? Since it's a brand new software. Now, they're getting a lot of support from these manufacturers. Remember, there's going to be Lenovo, Dell, HP, I think even Samsung. I mean, the full gamut of manufacturers are going to be putting cheap specs to flagship specs and everything in between. So you're going to have these Google books at starting off at $500 and going all the way up to $2,000. But I think it depends on the software. Now, I think they're introducing it at the worst time, right? But I mean, they can't really control that. I just don't know where this is going. And I don't know if they're going to sell well. I'm going to be interested to see where this goes. But essentially, it looks like a Chromebook on steroids. You know, it looks like a spec'd out Chromebook, but we'll have to see. The Android world has been dying for an ecosystem similar, or not similar, but shall I say as good as the Apple ecosystem, right? I know the Link to Windows computer app, if anybody is an Android user and a Windows user, apparently Windows is going to, the people at Windows, the company with Microsoft, they don't want a lot of people jumping onto these Google Books. So what I've heard from behind the scenes is that now that they have new competition, Windows, right, they're going to invest a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of development into upgrading the current Link to Windows application that you can download on your Windows computer and on your Android device. So they're going to try and make that a seamless connection between your Android device and your Windows computer, because apparently that's going to be one of the huge major advantages of these Google Books. Is it's going to be Apple ecosystem like, which sounds great. It sounds freaking awesome. We've been waiting for something like that for a long time. Then the next best thing I can think of is like Samsung. Like if you have a Samsung phone, a Samsung tablet, and a Samsung laptop, and earbuds and watches, TVs, it's about as close as you can get. But the Samsung laptops have been really shitty as of up until like last year, and super expensive. So that's one good thing about these Google Books. It's going to run any and all Android apps. Any app you can get on your phone on the Google Play Store, you're going to be able to install and run on this Google Book. And it sounds like you will be able to get them for a decent price as well. So you don't have to spend $2,000 like on a Samsung laptop for a good experience. You can spend $500, $600, $700 and get a really good Google Book. So we'll have to see where that goes. But let's get into OnePlus. So, and let me know, have y'all pre-ordered any foldables, huh? Uncle Alert. Bingo, bango. I appreciate it. Why won't this show up? That'll show. But what about this? It will not show. Bingo, bango, 89. Thank you. Let's jump into OnePlus. So Michael C2 says, Gizstop has a OnePlus 15, although I don't know if it's the global version of the Chinese version or the Chinese version. I'll answer that for you. It's the Chinese version. So Gizstop sells the OnePlus 15, I think for $799, but here's what they're doing. It's the Chinese model. Now, when you go through checkout, there'll be an option for you. Do you want to Gizstop will flash the global ROM on top of that. So you'll have a global model, but they charge, I think, like an extra $20. But you're definitely going to want to do that if that interests you. You're definitely going to want to do that, and it will be updated to Oppo's Color OS at some point here in the next few months, I believe. So, yeah, they still sell it. It's the China model. And if you don't want them to flash the global version on there, they'll just ship a China model to you, which is not a bad thing. It's still a good phone. Hey, what's going on? It's a pleasure to join us today. Thank you. Let's see. I'm excited for the Pixel 11 and Google Pixel 11 Pro and Pixel 11 Pro XL. I am excited for the glowing feature on the Google Pixel 11 Pro and Pixel 11 Pro XL. I am too. I've had a lot of people comment saying, it's a gimmick. I'm not going to use it. Well, my opinion is, okay, fine, don't use it. But I think I will. I hate saying this out loud, but I think I'm gonna get one. We were just going to get one originally, but now I'm starting to think. I think Google has a hit on their hands. Now, will it sell? Will it outsell the Pixel 10 series? I have no idea. That's up against some stiff competition. They sold a lot of Pixel 10 series. But I think what they're doing with this phone, just in the overall package, right? I think it's a good device. I think if you purchase a Pixel 11 Pro, Pixel 11 Pro XL, I think you're going to like it. I really do. Now, obviously, we all know it doesn't have the best performing CPU. We get that. But in a vacuum, meaning if you just have your eyes, if you put blinders on and you're just using the Pixel and you don't compare it necessarily to anything else, I know that might be unfair, but just hear me out. If you don't compare it to anything else, if you just use the device, I think you're going to like it. So I think they put it all together this year, minus the CPU topic. That's a whole nother discussion. But you get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I know, especially when you start comparing prices to performance to specs. Okay, so you can get a Snapdragon device. Well, then buy a Snapdragon device. But I know there's plenty of people out here that don't necessarily put all their chips in on the CPU, right? I know there's people out there that don't edit videos. Then you'll be fine with a Pixel. And it still will edit videos. It just won't render the video, meaning when you hit complete and you want all your edits to finally roll into a completed project, sure, the Snapdragon is going to beat the Tensor G6. We all know that. But, I mean, it'll still do it, right? And if you're not a huge gamer, like, a lot of people are, then you'll be fine with the Pixel. That's my main point is, if you're a Pixel fan, I think you're going to like this Pixel. That's what I'm trying to get at. Let's see here. The Pixel looking one left. Yeah, both are nice. You like those, both of them? Yeah, they are. Poco F8. We're going to talk about OnePlus. Give me a second. Do you advocate for buying used laptops like you do for phones? Yes. Especially in today's market, I certainly do. Right before, we're in about a month of everybody raising prices. And especially nowadays, with the prices the way they are, I certainly do. Now, you got to be smart as far as to where you purchase them at, meaning, of course, you can take a risk and get one dirt cheap if you meet somebody on Facebook or Marketplace or Swappa, or even buy it off of Mercari. Yeah, you need to be careful, but I would suggest staying away from meetup in person if you're buying a laptop, meaning you might not want to go through Facebook Marketplace. You might not want to go through OfferUp application, because they don't offer returns. My advice is, yeah, I would buy used, but make sure you have a return policy. So your best bet's going to be through eBay or Best Buy. Best Buy has their used devices, right? And they go through testing. They give you a return window. Run it hard. Soon as you get it, because you only got like a 2-week window. So when you get it, install all your apps, programs, go through workflows, your normal daily usage that you normally would, as fast as possible, to see if what you have can handle it. And if not, just return it. But that's a risk that you take if you don't have a return. But yeah, I'd certainly recommend buying used. Just make sure it's a good device. Make sure you want to go through your normal checks, right? Just like you would, of course, with a phone, you want to check if it's blacklisted, lost, or stolen, right? With a used computer, you just want to make sure there's not much damage, and it's hard to tell if something's been replaced or repaired. So that's why I always recommend going with a purchase that has a return window on there for you. You know what I'm saying? That's the smart thing to do. And then if you get offered, like with Apple, what is it, Apple Care? If you buy a MacBook Air and you can sign it up for Apple Care, I certainly would. I would certainly recommend you doing that as well, just to make sure you're covered. Last thing you want to do is use it for 6 weeks, and then something breaks and you're shit out of luck. So, what's going on, man? So, let's do this. I got news today that OnePlus sold out of all devices at all major retailers. New devices, should I say, at all major retailers. So that means some lucky person purchased the very last OnePlus 15 at Best Buy on OnePlus's website. Today's the first day. Everything is completely sold out. Also on Amazon, they're all sold out. So anywhere you could officially purchase a OnePlus 15, they are sold out. Now you can still buy one if you want to get one. I think Amazon, Best Buy is completely out, meaning new or used. No more at Best Buy. Amazon has sold out of their new units, but you can also purchase a used item on Amazon. There are still a couple for sale on Amazon as listed as used, but on OnePlus's website, they're sold out. In fact, they are wiped out. They sold all their devices on the OnePlus website. They sold all their tablets, all their watches, everything gone. So the best place to get one, and I still recommend purchasing the device. I still think it's worth it. And here's how I know. Here's a good example of how I know it's a good device, meaning people that buy it like it. is because there's just not many for sale. So I checked all the used phone websites that I normally check, and Swappa being the very first, and there's only 3 for sale. Now, one of them is a non-US model, meaning like it was purchased at Giztop and they flashed the global ROM on it, but it originates as a China model. So 2 out of the 3 on Swappa, which is generally a good place to go purchase a used phone. 2 of them are US models. Now, another thing is their retail value their aftermarket retail value has actually gone up since we've learned that OnePlus is exiting the global market. They have actually gone up, the aftermarket resale value. And if you go look on eBay, there's some, but there's more China models than US models. And there was nothing on OfferUp. There was, I think, 1 or 2 on Mercari. Point is, there's just not that many out there to purchase as far as aftermarket used. And that's a sign that people are not putting them up for sale. That means whoever has the OnePlus 15 or OnePlus 15R, they're holding on to it and they're not selling. That's how you know it's a good phone. Because why would they want to sell it if it's such a good phone? You're not getting another one. There's no OnePlus 16 is going to be for sale around the globe. So that's a sign it's a good phone. That's how you know it's a good phone. So I think if you're still in the market for one, I would certainly suggest and or recommend the device. Meaning, I don't think you should not buy it because they're exiting the global market. I think if you want to buy it, I think you should buy it if you can afford it, because it still has a long life to go. So again, if you do want to purchase one, there are a couple on Swappa, and Amazon has a couple of used units for sale. I think it'll be updated to ColorOS here probably in the next few months. So that's a good sign. That means it's a good device. It's a little sad day today, so to speak, in the mobile phone world. It's like the last of a dying breed, right? It's like it's like the OnePlus 15 and 15R goes from today's the official transition of OnePlus 15 and OnePlus 15R going from badass phone, one of the best, if not the best Android phone you can get, officially transitioning to a classic, an absolute classic. I think it'll go down as a classic. That's just my opinion, meaning 5, 7, 10 years from now, we're going to look back and be like, damn, do you remember that OnePlus 15? Man, that was a badass phone. And even the OnePlus 13 is still certainly badass. And OnePlus has said they're going to convert that to ColorOS. So shall I say Oppo has put out a statement saying that they're going to convert OnePlus 13 to ColorOS, all 13 series to ColorOS as well. And again, I think we can expect that here in the next few months. So just an all-around good device. It's kind of a sad day, but we all knew this day was coming. I don't know. I would like to know how many they sold. Now, I don't know if we'll ever get a solid number, a nice rounded number. My guess is probably going to be I would like to say maybe now this will be in North America. So let me include, this is North America only. I'm not talking about globally. I think North America, which includes Canada, the United States, and Mexico, I think they sold, I want to say 500,000, maybe a little under, maybe 450,000, which at first thought sounds a little low, but I think that's I think I'm not overshooting it. Am I undershooting it? Maybe a little bit. Maybe they sold a little more, but that would be my guess without going over, right? Like like a game show. Now, globally, obviously more. I would say globally they probably sold 2 million, something like that, maybe 3 at the most. Now, remember, Samsung sold, compared to Samsung, for the S25 Ultra, last year's flagship from Samsung, I think they sold 12 million S25 Ultras globally, I believe. So that's what I'm kind of comparing my numbers to, because we all know it's certainly not going to sell as many units as Samsung, right, with their flagship device. Actually, let's find out. Let's see. It says, let's see, globally, it says global sales for Samsung S25 Ultra outperformed its predecessor, achieving a 7% increase in launch year sales compared to the S24 Ultra. It accounted for roughly 46% of the total Galaxy S25 sales. And secured a top spot among the top 10 best-selling smartphones globally for 2025. Yeah, but I want a number, a whole number. Let's see, how many did they sell? It says with the first 2 months on the market, the S25 Ultra reached 5 million units, but that was in the first 2 months. Let's see. Here we go. It says Galaxy S25 series. 4-month global sales, S25 Ultra, 8.39 million. But that's 4 months. So we're missing 8 months. And I would hate to just multiply 8.39 million times 3, because that wouldn't represent because yeah, they could sell a shitload of them in those first 4 months, but then kind of fizzle off for the remainder of the year. Let's see here. Come on, why can't I get a good number? It says the entire S25 series, so the S25, S25 Plus, and S25 Ultra sold 30 million units worldwide. 30? I cannot get a rock solid number. I don't know why. So anyways, so if they sold 30 million worldwide, and let's see, did it say it was 46% of the sales? Where did I see that? Because we could get a number. Yeah, accumulated 46%. So if they sold 30 million units, %, would be 13.8 million. Okay. Had to figure out the math ourselves. So if Samsung sold we would agree that the OnePlus 15's biggest competitor is the Ultra from Samsung, right? So if Samsung sold globally 13.8 million S25 Ultras, I think my estimate of the total number of OnePlus 15s sold. Now, we haven't hit a year yet. I think we'll hit a year in November. But I think once we hit November, and it has been a fiscal year for the OnePlus 15, I think 3 million, maybe 2 or 2.5, somewhere between 2 and 3 million units worldwide, I think is a fair estimate, right? It's not so popular to where they're going to sell half of what Shit, if OnePlus sold half of what Samsung sold, they would still be in business. They would still be in business. But that's a respectable number. You got to remember, OnePlus is not in the carriers, right? Samsung gets a ton of sales from carrier sales, at least here in the U.S. And then they have the best pre-order numbers, pre-order deals. So I think that helps out too. Now, OnePlus did as well, but typically Samsung has had far and away the very best pre-order deals for potential customers. So let's see here. Do you recommend using a used OnePlus 13? For sure. In fact, I would use one. If I didn't have OnePlus 15, I would jump back on the OnePlus 13 without a doubt. It's insane. Yeah, 100%. What the hell happened to my face? What the hell is going on here? Hello? Hello? I don't know what's going on. Still working? Are you still on? Man, it's been one of those days. Been one of those days. All right. So, anyways, where were we? Let's see. You can hear me? Okay, perfect. Let's see here. I'm rolling up on an hour anyways. Is there anything else that is going on in the tech space? Let's see. Did any of y'all order a foldable? Let me see how long we got left, because I still need to order mine. It's probably going to be literally the last second. I think we got 3 days left. What is it? Something like that. Let me share my screen. Yeah, 3 days and 6 hours. Now, are they sold out? I'm not getting a fold, but I just want to check and see where we're at, or where they are at. So that's for the 512 model. September 4th, as you can see down here. Maybe you can't. September 4th for the 512 in lavender. September 4th for the 512 Z Fold 8 in cream. August 28th graphite. August 21st. So the cream and the lavender are the best selling, at least on the 512. I bet the 256 are even more backed up. No? August 10th, September 11th, September 4th, August 21st. Now look at this. I bet the flips. Ooh, let me look at the more expensive one, the terabyte. Let's see. Damn, August 28th, August 10th, August 14th, August 10th. Holy crap. Now, I want to see about the flip, because that's the one I'm going to get. Let's see. 256, August 10th, August 10th, August 10th, August 10th. Okay. Now, let's look at 512. August 10th, August 10th, August 10th. You know, I wonder, do they manipulate that? Do they even though they have a lot in stock, do you think Samsung, or not just Samsung, but other companies, like manipulate that number to make you hurry up and buy it? Because I've wondered that. I've wondered, what if they backlog it, not by a month, but maybe a week or so? Because when it says we're launched on August the 7th, you're like, oh my God, you mark your calendar. I can't wait till August the 7th. And then you check it again, you're like, August 10th, wait a second. And then it says August 18th. Like, wait, hold on. I wonder if they just do that to make you hurry up and buy it. Because next time you check, it could be September 11th. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't, doubt them doing that. But I'm not saying they are, but I wouldn't doubt it. Now, I know Best Buy are still on August the 7th because I checked earlier today, so unless that changed. But still got 3 days to make a choice. Now, I don't know anybody that got the Ultra. Anybody. Let's see how backed up they are. August 10th, this is for the 256. Still can't believe they're charging you $2,000 for a 256 gig model unit. That is insane. It should start out at $512. August 10th, August 21st, August 10th, August 14th. Let's try $512. August 21st, August 10th, August 10th, August. Oh, that one's August 21st, and this one's August 10th. And the exclusive color is 21st. Now let's go to the 1 terabyte model, which is expensive. Damn, September 4th. You telling me people are buying this thing? August 14th. August 21st. August 14th. Oh, man. That is crazy. Now, maybe they didn't make as many, and so all the couple of units they did make are being sold. Maybe that's the case. But, man. Hey, what's going on, Bradley? Good. Man, I'm telling you, this stuff frustrates me. It's always cutting out, or at least it's been like that with StreamYard lately, where the audio doesn't play, or intro, or... Did I receive the new update software for the OnePlus 15? You're talking about the July? I do have July. I don't have August. But yeah, July was here. It came. Yep. Oppo Find X10 Ultra has leaked camera specs. Really? We'll look into that here in just a second. You're happy with your Oppo Find N6? Cool. Yeah, I would like to eventually... Now, I'm not saying, y'all know I don't like the foldables. Y'all know that. But I would like to, and I probably will, take a dive into some of the Chinese smartphones, meaning the Oppo Find X10 Ultra, Oppo Find X10 series, Pro Max. I want to get into some of those, meaning buy one and see what that's all about. I know it's similar to OnePlus. In fact, I might even think about getting a Vivo device, something like the Honor. Well, I'm going to have to, because we're so limited here in the U.S. We just don't have many options. So I think this upcoming year, meaning this next year from today, I think I'm going to start. I know for sure I'll purchase my first official Chinese smartphone. OnePlus, I mean, I guess technically I've always bought a Chinese smartphone, OnePlus, but I mean outside of OnePlus, right? I think this year will certainly be my first. Let's look for Oppo Find X10 Ultra. Let's just pull that, go to news, and see what all pops up. Oppo Find X10 Ultra is in testing with 2 big sensors for its 10x zoom camera. Oppo Find X10 Ultra's 10x telephoto sensor reportedly split between 2 suppliers. Holy crap, with a triple 200 megapixel sensors. Let's go to GSM Arena and see what it says. Well, it cuts off my screen. Great. Here we go. Man, that's a big camera hump. Look at that. That's crazy. Big sensors. It says a new leak details two candidate 50 megapixel sensors for the Oppo Find X10 Ultra's 10x telephoto camera, both larger than the sensor in the outgoing Find X9 Ultra. Weibo-based tipster Digital Chat Station has shared new details on the camera setup expected for the Oppo Find X10 Ultra, the successor to the Find X9 Ultra. According to the leak, Oppo is currently testing two sensor options for the phone's 10x periscope telephoto lens. Both candidates share the same core hardware specs: a 50 megapixel resolution and a 1 over 1.95 inch optical format. One option is Samsung's ISOCELL GNB, previously reported, while the other is OmniVision's OVI1A. Both are unreleased at the time of the writing. Wow. If either sensor makes it to mass production, it would represent a noticeable size upgrade over the Find X9 Ultra's 10x telephoto sensor, which is 1 over 2.76 inch Samsung ISOCELL JNL. What happened? Going by the standard optical format to diagonal approximation, that's a jump from a diagonal of roughly 5.8 millimeters. Why does this keep on jumping? To one of roughly 8.2 millimeters. Since sensor area scales with the square of the diagonal, that works out to roughly double the sensor size. Double? In practice, that means meaningful larger individual pixels, which should translate to better low light performance in dynamic range on the 10x lens specifically. On the lens design side, Digital Chat Station confirms that the 10x module retains its quintuple reflection prism pure telephoto construction, rather than shifting to a hybrid telephoto macro design. The tipster also notes that short telephoto 3x sensor remains at 200 megapixels, unchanged from the current generation. As always with pre-production leaks, these specs reportedly come from an unvalidated test unit, and Oppo could still swap sensors or revise the camera stack before the Find X10 Ultra's expected 2027 launch. Wow. That sounds pretty badass. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm going to be covering the X10 Ultra, but I think the one I have my eyes set on, meaning the one I think I'm potentially going to buy, is the Oppo Find X10 Pro Max. I think that one has my name written all over it. It's going to have similar camera upgrades. So, and this is what it's going to look like. It looks similar to the OnePlus 15 as far as design language, the aspect, the screen size, pretty close. And I love that OnePlus 15. So I think this is the one that I have my eyes set on, which looks to be badass as well. What the hell just happened? Can y'all hear me? This is insane. Can y'all hear me? Hello, hello, hello? Yo, what happened to my camera? Yo, my camera won't turn on. I think all my shit blew out. What the hell is going on? Hang on. Hello? 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 Yo, this is incredible. In a bad way. What is going on here? Testing. Can you hear me? Testing. Can you hear me? Yep. You can hear me. All right. Well, that sucks. I guess I'll have to. Oh, man. More shit for me to have to deal with. I don't know what the hell happened. But, look, I was getting towards the end anyways. So, I'll probably let y'all go. I'm going to figure out this dumpster fire over here and see what's going on. You know, it's always something with one of these streaming platforms. So I don't know why I can never have a good looking stream like any. Well, here might be the problem. I don't use the $3,000 like Sony cameras, right? Like a mirror, like a, what is it? One of those mirrorless or mirror camera, whatever they are. You know what I'm talking about? The ones that look like an old traditional camera. They're $3 or $4 grand. I'm not buying a $3 or $4 grand camera. Sorry. We're not making that much money over here off YouTube, but I just use webcams, my phone. I'm using the Signature right now as a webcam, so whatever. Let me get out of here. I appreciate the time, and I'll just see y'all tomorrow. I'm going to be dealing with this for the next however long it's going to take, but we'll do, what day is it? Monday. We're going to do another giveaway this week, so stay tuned to the channel. We'll do giveaways this week, and I'll just catch y'all tomorrow. I'm going to deal with this. Peace. Appreciate you stopping by. I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day, and please be safe, and we'll see you back around here tomorrow. Peace out.